Yo, what is going on, guys? Aspect Game out once again in Project Singularity. In this episode, the server moved up a tier from LV to MV. We now have access to all the MV components like motors, robot arms, and everything else. And if you're not too familiar with GregTech yet, the main resource for the MV tier is aluminum, which you could start making towards the end of LV. We'll now go to the very start of MV Day. We got a lot of people on right now. We're about to do the MV ribbon cutting ceremony. I don't know if there's a ribbon this time, but we will be moving to MV. From last night's stream, I did a couple things. I went and mined 2 veins, one of copper, so tetrahedrite vein, and then I went and got cryolite. So this is the whole cryolite vein processed, almost a full barrel. And you get a little bit of alumina from processing that. I use that to make our first couple stacks of aluminum. So this should be good enough to get us to like the MV electrolyzer. And then we can pretty easily get more alumina from there, it seems. And if you missed it, Hekiba was working on some building yesterday. This is where our MV stuff is going to live. It's pretty nice. So yeah, this should be the new machine room, where we're going to have like a ton of extruders and stuff. Oh yeah, this worked out really well too. So this system that compresses down cells and then centrifuges them automatically, it only uses like 2,800 liters per second of steam, but overnight it completely filled 2 essentially super tanks of nitrogen and oxygen.
Hello.
Hey, Akiba.
Hi. Okay, everyone's in a different VC. We'll move there later.
Yeah, savor the non-chaotic time while you can.
Yeah. But yeah, I see that you stockpiled a bunch of cryolite and started smelting that aluminum. When was that? Was that just this morning?
This morning, yeah. So I just mined 1 vein of cryolite.
Oh, we do need more alumina if we want to smelt more.
It's tough to get without the MV electrolyzer. It's kind of like a byproduct only right now.
Yeah, I do like this system because modern GT is exactly that. You just get aluminum dust, you smelt it. But
yeah,
here we actually have to do proper processing. I don't know if it's realistic, but I don't really care. It's GTNH, we got magic mods, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, I think people might be moving to spawn about now.
Yeah, I can head over there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, my store had to be demolished for this, but, like, it's worth it. It's still very work in progress, but I think it's definitely enough for MV Day.
I think your store technically exists underneath the spawn building still.
Oh yeah, well the storage room does, yeah. I
got paved over by big business.
There's some foods in there that we can't make anymore.
We forgot how.
Yeah. Well, now that you have that hoe of regrowth or whatever,
that would make it easy. Yeah, I could let you borrow
crops.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think we should move into VC with them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everybody's moving there now.
Hey, Doug. Hey, Aspect.
Yo, what is going on, guys?
Okay.
Aspect Gaming here.
I'm for VC Chaos.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yo, guys, did you see my scrapyard?
I did. It's awesome.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
You know, that's
insane, by the way.
Titanium dust for tofu coins.
So why don't you have phenolic boards?
I think I might need an epoxy.
Cool.
Why?
Now recording.
Fiber reinforced epoxy. Good job, Flurpin.
Have an egg.
Alright, can we make a MV cut it like a thing to do the ribbon cutting?
We'll
You
make
want a
it out of
ribbon?
fat.
This is so organized.
Pluck a manganese.
The MV stabloid pipe cutting ceremony.
What
are you making?
Why are we griefing?
This is
We should
this
leave
is
this
the
here for
cutting
rest of
ceremony.
the-
We have to cut through all of this.
We have to cut
Yeah.
through
Oh,
this
I
tree.
see. The saw benches, the cutting ceremony. You're smart.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
This-
Okay, I've got a whole bunch of photos for today.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright, happy MV
Alright,
day.
cut through it.
Happy MV.
Let's go.
I blow the candle out.
It's every new year.
Alright, headed back to our own
There we
VC
go.
where it is less chaotic
Yeah. I'm gonna turn on my music
to
again.
relog. Every time that you specifically log on, it breaks my Cloak of the Raven. I don't know why.
Let's get started here. We need MV power gen, which I think we're gonna do with an MV combustion generator, right?
Yeah. We need to be a little bit like scarce in aluminum at first. Maybe let's make like 2 generators, and then we can make
Okay.
more once we have a more comfortable amount of aluminum. Hekiba started making generators, but I was starting to make machines. Our first focus was the MV electrolyzer and the MV extruder.
And you know what, we can put some scaffolding back here.
We can build later, Hecuba.
Now listen, this is... Oh,
Listen.
I guess we have the hull. I do like the music.
I didn't hear this yet. I don't know, I just made some 8x annealed copper cable because I'm like... I don't know how much we need, so I just made a lot of it. I'm gonna work on the extruder right now. I think I'm gonna need you to give me some of the parts you're making, but I'll get everything else ready.
Oh, did you get the electrolyzer already?
Yeah, I did. It's already down.
Oh, damn.
I need a piston. That's all I need.
I have 1 piston.
And I have that.
Alright, the extruder only needs 1.
You could have my plates then. I put them right behind you. Alright, I'm gonna start making extruder shapes. Vinny, we did cut the ribbon already. We did it. We did that. It was a great time.
The ribbon.
The monster of random assortments of items related to MV. With the MV electrolyzer and extruder finished, we established the main gameplay loop of early MV. Hecuba and I were both gathering hardened clay from a nearby mesa biome, macerating it down, and then electrolyzing it to get alumina, which smelts into aluminum. You also get silicon dioxide from clay dust, which we'll use to create raw silicon, which will then create solar-grade silicon for circuit production. So this is the silicon setup. This is making raw silicon dust. Let's take a look at the recipes real quick. First off, if you add together silicon dioxide dust and magnesium, you get raw silicon and magnesia dust. The magnesia dust, you get forward for the recipe. You can electrolyze them down to magnesium and oxygen, and everything's recycled, so you're not using any magnesium in these recipes. We have the raw silicon output here, and the magnesia goes over here into a hopper. I use this older technology still because we weren't quite ready yet to use item conduits. We're still a little bit poor. The extra oxygen we make goes back to the tank, and the electrolyzer outputs directly back into the chem reactor. And that's the whole loop. You can also fully automate silicon dioxide if you want, and to do that it's pretty simple. You just electrolyze sand, which can be made by forge hammering cobblestone twice. Cobblestone, of course, can be made in the rock breaker or your preferred method of choice. Once you made enough raw silicon, we can go ahead and turn this into solar grade. This is a straightforward process, but we'll run through it. So once again, we're going to be seeing a recycled loop of pretty much all the materials, except for the silicon, of course, which gets turned into the higher purity silicon. So let's take a look at the recipes. To create silicon solar grade, you use sodium and silicon tetrachloride. The silicon tetrachloride is made from 4 chlorine and 1 raw silicon. From this recipe, you receive 8 salt. That salt can be electrolyzed into chlorine. As we can see, the 8 salt gives you 4 chlorine back and 4 sodium. So everything is recycled, and all you gotta do is find a way to make it go from A to B. Now that silicon's dealt with, we're on to other projects. My overall goal is to make at least 2 stacks of advanced circuits, which are a pretty painful recipe as we can see. They require an MV good integrated circuit for every single one of them, and those also require 2 integrated logic circuits at LV for all of them. If you play this pack at all, you know it's pretty clear that we're going to need a ton of resources for that many circuits. The good news is we just unlocked better recipes for all the components. So SMD transistors, these are made with gallium and tantalum. Both are pretty difficult to acquire typically in MV, however I have a little trick up my sleeve. We're going to need diodes. Again, we can make a decent recipe with tantalum wire and gallium arsenide dust, but it's still a combination of 2 rare materials. And SMD resistors. Carbon is free, just electrolyzed diamonds, which I have infinite of, and tantalum again. These all also require polyethylene, so I guess the easiest thing to start with is the polyethylene production. Alright, so my bad. The polyethylene system became really convoluted, and really it isn't this complicated, it just looks really bad. I'll try not to build like this in the future, but the gist of it is that I'm distilling oil down into sulfuric naphtha, desulfurizing it, severely steam cracking it, and then distilling it, and then reacting it again to create polyethylene. Now it's time to break MV wide open. As we discussed earlier, tantalum, gallium, and arsenic are going to be 3 materials that we need a lot of, and they're all difficult to acquire. Except they actually aren't difficult. They're completely free. We're going to be able to nugget dupe all 3 of them in infinite quantities. All 3 of them require metallum and permutatio, and we already have honey drops in an infinite quantity, and that's one of the best sources of permutatio. Each nugget then requires their own unique aspect to do. Gallium is going to require electrum, which is on fine wires. I just made a bunch of fine iron wire for that. Arsenic requires Venom. This is from Spider Eyes. We have infinite spiders from the Witch Farm. And then Tantalum requires Vinculum, which is on all combs. You can also nugget dupe aluminum. This requires Volatus, Ignis, and Ordo. You can source Volatus from Forestry Bees or Sodalite and Lazurite, especially the crushed form. You get a ton of this. For Ordo, I'm using Iron Rounds. They have 3 Ordo each. And I chose to use Blaze Powder for Ignis. Just make sure you're using the right aluminum recipe. This one's not correct. It is for Tinker's Construct aluminum that is different from the GregTech aluminum. You have to use this recipe. We're just going to use a lot because these are all infinite. Yeah, I mean, we already have a stack of tantalum. That's more than you'd get from an entire tantalum vein. It's gallium time. We still have stuff in here from earlier. Is there a dropper contraption to auto-dupe nuggets? Probably. There's also, you use the Thaumatorium and World Accelerate it. That's another good way. But I just don't have the, I don't have extra World Accelerators. I don't have a Thaumatorium on hold for that. The other annoying thing is getting the aspects into the Thaumatorium. A little bit. This is like way easier because I could just do an uneven like batch. So like I could just grab a bunch of garbage like Spider Eyes and stuff and just throw them in and not really care about it. With my nugget duping done, it was time to begin preparing for my gigantic circuit craft. This took me hours to get all the resources and do all the crafts, and then it even just took an hour to do the recipes by themselves. But eventually, I did have 2 stacks of HV circuits completed. Yo, what is going on, guys? Aspect Gaming. Back in Project Singularity. So Hecuba was on earlier today. He had a pretty long stream. He was building a casino. I'm waiting for him to complete a setup to make Chrome with Ruby, which is pretty cool. But there is an alternative way to do it with magic, and I think I'll be doing that today. I'm gonna smelt down 1 Chrome. Why are you... I don't think I made one of those yet. I made Hecuba do the maintenance last time. Alright, I'll fix that in a bit. How is that burned out already? We just started using these EBFs. So there is... If there is a nugget, there is a dupe recipe, I'll tell you that. So this is ridiculous. As we know, I have infinite amounts of dispensers and droppers from the Witch Farm. So that means I have infinite Chrome. Alright, let's run it with this. We'll use all the iron we have left. I feel like nugget duping is going to be severely nerfed because of Project Singularity as well. We have like too many Thaumcraft guys. It's not good for the ancient technology, you know? What am I doing right now? I am working towards Canthal, which means I need to make a whole lot of MV energy hashes. So I gathered some lubricant just now for these. Lubricant is a benefit to the cutting machine as well. It speeds it up. So it pretty much halves the duration of most recipes. So it's very nice to have. That's done. Now I need medium voltage coils. That is a bunch of fine aluminum wire. Is it worth throwing a stack of aluminum to the fine aluminum wire gods? Well, you know, it's 4 ingots for each of them. Yeah, I should do a stack. So that means we'll need more aluminum plates. I'm going to need 16 MV electric pumps. See how fast these resources go away once you stockpile them? Now it is MV energy hatch time. I should make a water source that is more conveniently located and also with a large buffer so I can grab large quantities of it. But a person that is smart would do that. A person that is trying to get stuff done, we'll put that off to the next guy. Double it and give it to the next guy. I started the crafts of my 16 MV energy hatches, and when they're done, you know what that means. It's time to upgrade the EBF. I'll be doing the upgrades in 2 steps, because first off we need an HV EBF just to make the Canthal. But once the Canthal's ready, I'm going to make enough for 4 EBFs, and we're going to make a quad and have them all running at HV. Our power supply is still Beazle, and it's been keeping up really, really well. So we're going to keep on with that. I'm going to multiply our power usage by like 16 times, but I think it should still be okay. Yeah, this is going to take forever. Okay, yippee, hot ingots are coming in. So now you take the hot ingots and you go over to the chemical bath, and this takes 1 minute to cool each and every ingot down. After that stream ended, I logged back in a few hours later to grab my Canthal, and I threw it all into the advanced chem bath. It's going to take about 6 hours to cool it all down, so we'll let that go overnight. Once it was all done, it was time to just throw it all in the wire mill and turn it all into Canthal coils. These aren't too hard to make at this point, it's just the same pattern of mica, and then you will need to use a fluid extractor of the previous tier's coils, in this case cupronickel, to create them. As the coils were finishing up, it was time to deconstruct our double EBF and start building a quad. As you can see, once I was done, underneath the EBF, it gets pretty complicated and very claustrophobic. It can be hard to figure out what's going where. The main reason for this is because I needed a lot of input hatches and energy hatches on the bottom. I have every slot that's available maxed out with something in it. I went and rebuilt this in creative as I figured people probably want to see what's going on underneath this. So we have here in the front is just an input bus. It's shared by 2 EBFs respectively. Same goes for the output bus, and these are all facing outwards on the main design, but we'll face them down just to show you what's going on here. But yeah, I want these to be accessible, so they have to be on the edge, and then the next blocks are maintenance hatches. So these also need to be accessible. They don't need to be like showing, but I at least want to be able to get in there, because we're going to be putting a lot of pipes and cables underneath this as well. So these are just regular heat-proof machine casings here, and the reason why is because I have 2 combustion generators taking up the space below these, so both of those blocks would be completely inaccessible. And the reason I did that was just kind of consolidate the design into a smaller space so it looks more interesting. But each EBF needs their own double MV energy hatch. If they're sharing MV energy hatches, it's going to mess it up, they're going to start power failing. And down the middle here, we have 3 input hatches. The reason for that is so I can get both oxygen and nitrogen in all 4 EBFs. I think that's going to do it for today's episode. MVs are pretty short tier in GT&H, so that's basically all the tech progression that there is, and we finished it in about a week. So from here on out, we're going to be doing some other fun projects, maybe experimenting with magic mods, building out the base a bit more. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, until next time, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.